Okay, so this is the next part of part two of this like chapters, etc., whatever in my life. Okay, and there's gonna be some graphic details, graphic things that I'm not proud of, but I was ashamed of, but I learned to not be ashamed of everything because God's love. So, anyways, I didn't kill no one or rape no one, nothing like that, but just be warned. Viewer discretion is advised for some of the stuff that I'm about to say. So, I already said earlier in videos about my past, about me and my cousin, about etc. and such, and about how when I was 19 I hooked up with Katrina and such, and so I pretty much counted do-overs in my mind. I guess I was like still a virgin, and I'm pretty much 21 at this point, or just about to be 21 or something. And so what happened was, I was posting ads on Craigslist, and I was, virgin male, such and such, 21 or 20 or 21 something. And, cause it was just right before I turned 21 or when I turned 21 right after or something. But, so I started posting ads, and I got ads from a couple of females, but most of them were out of town, etc., Vacaville or Sassoon or just whatever other, areas or further distances that I couldn't get to, wasn't mobile to get to, like myself. And then I got a reply from someone. He said, "You want to make $100, and it's easy money." And I was like, "Okay, yeah. What do I got to do?" And he said, "Just meet me such and such, and then you just sit there and let me do the such and such." And pretty much, I was receiving a blowjob. I was the one getting a blowjob for $100. I was having practically a virgin with females, haven't messed but with one female in my life, and I was like 21 years old, and I was, like, I don't know. I didn't have work, I couldn't find work, and I had good work experience, had good references. I had a GED and a driver's license and everything. And sometimes, even if it seems too good to be true, and you think you have everything, but things happen. And so I was stupid. I didn't know God in a certain way that I've felt to, the last 2 years. And so foolishly and stupidly, I said, sure, okay. I was happy, $100, and I get a blowjob. What? And so I was, I was stupid. Having had previous experience with my cousin, I was nothing new to me, and so I was a kid. I didn't know nothing. So I grew up, and then, I don't know. I always thought girls were attractive, never thought guys were attractive, and I still didn't, and everything. I still don't, of course. But anyway, so that's how I started wheeling into the whole prostitution thing, and it became singles and then couples, and I started, did that till I was like 26, right before I turned 27, I believe, or right when I turned 27, I stopped. I've been done for 2 years now and over. So, I mean, it's been that and a little more, but it's been just over 2 years that I've been prostitution free from singles, couples, etc. It's a dark time in my life where I was doing it for a couple $100, $100, couple $100. Then I went down to $50, went down to 40, and before I knew it, I was just doing it just to get drunk. I was doing it for $20 just so I could drink every day, and then I started doing it for like free just cause that's how stupid it was and how stupid I got. And I kept praying every day. I kept feeling this sickening in my heart every time, in my stomach. Every time I had this hookup for once a month in Folsom. The person would buy me a train ticket from Sassoon all the way to Sacramento. They'd pick me up at Sacramento. They'd get me anything that I wanted, and I'd have $100, $200 every time. And I mean, it started out doing less stuff, and I didn't have to do much, and then it was doing more stuff over time, and then more stuff, and I made more money, and I don't know, and it got out of hand, and it's not a thing that I'm proud of, but I mean, how many people are brave enough to, do a documentary or at least admit to their worst things in life and admit it to the world or admit it to other people? I'm not doing this for me or to become famous. I'm not doing this for that. I'm doing this because this is my testimony of how I found God. This is a testimony of what I've been through, what I've done, what I've seen, what I've experienced, and how I know God loves me. So with all this in mind, I did that for a while. I did that from the age of 21 until, like I said, like right before I turned 27 or something like that. And I stopped, I think, September, like right around September in the beginning, because we started reading the Bible, and I started stopping right after when I realized. And it was a hard time in the beginning to accept all this stuff, and then to, and anyways, so I did that, but that's just the beginning of other stuff too. There was other things I'm not proud of that I did back in 2011. I was with my cousins, and my cousins convinced me to go snatch a kettle from someone. I thought it was just a church or a family actually doing it for, not a church, but like a family that was doing it because a loved one passed and they were doing it for a funeral. As messed up as that is, and that I was willing to go do that for that, thinking that's what that was. I thought at the worst it was that. Turned out when I grabbed it, it was for a church. It was around a holiday time. It was probably October or November, and they were, it was just, I guess, collecting maybe for funds for the church. And I'm just glad I only got what I got and not more. If there was a few $100, I would have, I don't know, but there was $60 in there. When we got back to the apartment, my cousin's apartment, they both basically kept influencing me and kept bugging me to do it, because they said they'd done it before. They'd done all their stuff. They paid their dues into the such and such stuff, and that it's my turn to do it. And so we did that, and it was, I did that, and it was stupid. And basically I did that, and I only got $15, and you better believe that, like, it was sickening to me. But the first thing that I said was, and I don't think I even said so. I mean, I'm sure I said sorry, God, but I mean, one of the first things that came out of my mouth when I did realize it was, I don't even remember praying, but I might have. I hope I did. But I know I did say that day for sure, well, we're going to get drunk for sure now, because, that's what I said. We're going to get drunk because this, I said that makes me, sick. And I didn't even try to find the church, return it back to him. One day, though, if God's willing and blesses me, I'll find that church. I will, and I'll pay him back. I'll pay him back 1,000-fold. If God blesses me with enough money, with enough to give back to people and places that have helped our family and helped me in the times, and that church that I didn't realize that I took from until it all happened. If I'd known it was a church, I would have told my cousins to go screw off, go F themselves. God forgive me. I would have told him no. I mean, I wasn't the best Christian, but I was, I was slowly, I was good. I had a good relationship until I started going out with my cousins at 18. I was always going to church on Sundays and everything. I was living a life, doing good, supporting my family, giving 80% plus of my money that I made to the house instead of just a small portion. I was giving most of it, making sure that my brothers had a video game instead of me having a new outfit and stuff, or etc. That we had food, and even if we had food, that I bought more food instead of going and buying me a shirt or pants and stuff. I mean, I've been like that forever. And so, anyways, there's a couple other things I want to admit to in this video real quick. One is my cousin was scoping out this laundromat one time. This was well over 7 years ago, so it was like 8 years ago. He was scoping out a laundromat, and he kicked the door in, but basically what happened was he didn't take nothing because it was the wrong door, and then we ended up leaving, and it was a stupid thing. Another thing was that one time I snatched the lady's purse because I was dumb, and I ended up basically I was drunk. My cousin convinced me to do it, and so I went and did it. And I guess there was this black dude, and I don't think he was with them, but I think he picked him up, grabbed him in his car or whatever, and then they chased me down to the end of the parking lot, and he pulled a knife on me, and I gave the purse back, threw it, and a whole bunch of stuff came out, and money could have came out, but I didn't check to stop and see or anything. They took off. They didn't stop to see. They just took the purse as it was and took off. And not even 30 seconds after they drove off, like not even a minute, it must have been like maybe 30 seconds or less after they drove off and away, a cop drove by. And then when the cop drove by, I was the most scared I've ever been. And yeah. Anyways, another incident I had that I got in trouble for, though, was when I was 21. My cousin and me got into a big old fight, me and Gypsy, and then David came in and he tried to, like, I guess, he tried to jump me, whatever, to help his cousin. I mean, to help his brother, my cousin. And so he hit me a few times, and because I was choking Gypsy out, David comes up and hits me in the nose like 3 times, and then I let go of Gypsy to go fight David because, he didn't hurt me, he just pissed me off. I kept telling him to stop, but so he hit me 3 times. I went to go fight him, and there was past between me and him that I haven't even told about, like besides other stuff, like where he's a bully and a punk. Him and his girlfriend, when they were, just starting out, and they had a 1-year-old and 2-year-old, they stayed with us, and they had taxes back and everything, and had thousands of dollars, and they didn't give us nothing. They bought fast food, didn't share it. Then they took our fast food when we did. They did all kinds of stuff, and he was a user and abuser, that he even hit her and did all kinds of stuff. And that's why those two are split it up by now. But I mean, he was such a low-life piece of crap. And then, I don't know if he's changed now or not. He did change apparently recently, but then his mom passing away and everything, I don't know how he's doing now. But I mean, so like there's more into that whole thing, but that I'd get into. But I mean, it's kind of like between me and him, I'm just trying to tell most of the stuff that I did is what this whole thing is like, it's like my testimony of faith of where I was and the things I did. And then this is my documentary to prove about God's love and to prove how far you can fall. And then other people, I'm sure, have got way worse and darker stories too in life. And, but I mean, because God can love anyone, and it's just, we have to love him back and accept him and change our ways. And over time it took me, but I ended up eventually doing that. And now here I am doing these videos. But, so yes, I snatched the purse, but then the one guy came, took it, and then they took off. Then the cop showed up 30 seconds later. Then the cop just drove by, and I was in panic mode. And then my cousin Gypsy drove right back a few seconds later, and then we got in the car and took off. And that was there. And then another time though, like I said, me and Gypsy, we ended up in that fight, and then David intervened and tried to jump me too. And then we had a big old thing the next day. Me and Gypsy went to Crescent City to his girlfriend's, and then basically from there, like David said that because he found out we were there for like a week. David found out that we spent like half my food stamps, so he's like, "Well, you're kicked out. You both can't stay here." He said, "You don't have no money, no other money. You just have the 100." He said, "I got kids and stuff and such." I was like, "I can go to churches. I can go get help and stuff." So, but no, he didn't want none of that. So basically, when I got back though, like there was this whole thing. I was an idiot. I stole sometimes air mattresses and this and that and whatnot from stores and stuff, and we would return it for gift cards and other stuff. I was stupid and I was an idiot. And anyways, long story short then, still a long story, everything, right? My whole life. But anyway, when I went back though, he was like, "Well, fine, but then you're going to steal an air mattress or something or this or this, so then something we could take back and get a gift card so we can use it for food." I ended up getting like $160 hit from something, and that was supposed to be the last time I was going to do it after that, and I was going to stop. But I ended up going to another store later went to another store later that day, and I stole again. And I got caught, and so I have that on my record in California because I was an idiot and I got greedy and went to a second store that day, and if I would have just stopped, but I'm glad I got caught, and because it stopped me, and it could have stopped me from getting way more serious charges and more charges. I never got in trouble before, so they just bumped it from a felony to a misdemeanor because I cooperated and I said that I had intent and was telling them everything, the situation about I did it for food and such. But they's like, "Okay, well, it's a felony and such, and you told us you had intent and blah, blah, blah." See, and I didn't realize that, basically when you do talk though, you're just incriminating yourself more and more. You are hurting yourself more and more, even if you are honest. And they say to be honest, and honesty will go a long way. That's a bunch of bullcrap. So, and half the cops that I've dealt with over the years are, bullcrap. So the other half are cool and good cops. So then you got the other half that are douchebags though, in general, that have, just because they have a bad day or because they don't like their jobs or because they hate people or whatever their situation. So I would just say from now on, if anyone gets in trouble too, to just keep your mouth shut and just call for a lawyer. Say you want a lawyer. Because if I had just did all that, then my thing probably would have even been less serious. But I got 3 years deferred sentence and stuff. But there was another incident I had right before the 3 years was up that I'll get into in another video, but it wasn't stealing or nothing. It was just family issues. I'm gonna let these two upload and whatnot, and I'll leave it at right here from the Walmart. Well, it was Walmart in case anyone didn't know that I got in trouble. So, anyways, all right, have a blessed day, and God loves you all. And I gotta load these two, and it's gonna take some time, and then I'll probably make another one or two tomorrow from there. God bless.